Welcome to day 8 of our 10-day mobility series. Today, Molly is going to be taking you through a hip mobility routine. This is fantastic for improving your squat depth. Let's get into it.
So we're going to actually start from a seated position today. So we're going to begin with what we call some windshield wipers, so just mimicking the movement of windshields. So feet are going to be around hip width apart, hands can be behind the lower back just to support that posture. Again, if you are super tight, feel free to sit on a block or some cushions. So we're just going to gently roll the knees to one side and then over to the other. So just working at a comfortable pace. Ideally, try not to rush this movement too much. We don't want to cause any shock to the joints or the fascia around the hips. So just nice windshield wipers. If you have one side that's particularly tight, feeling free to just pause there for a little while and then maybe repeat that on the other side. So let's just take a few more. It's all right to let the hips really lift off. Lovely. What we're going to do now, we're going to come into our all fours position. So hands under shoulders and knees underneath our hips. We're going to take some hip circles, and the focus is to keep our hips facing down towards the ground so we're not getting that extra twist through the spine. We're really focusing on mobilizing the hip joints. So we're just going to bring the right knee towards the chest, open it out to the side, up to the sky and back down. So again, just be mindful as you open it out that we're not twisting, we're still trying to shine those hips down towards the mat. Once we've done 4 out, we're then going to do 4 the opposite direction. So lifting the heel towards the sky, open the knee out to the chest and back. And just be mindful that we're not sinking into that chest. We're still lifting the body away from the floor. And then soften that knee down, taking it all on the left side. So starting by circling those hips out. If you do struggle with any wrist pain, you can place some blocks or cushions under the hand for some extra support here as well. Alternatively, you can do these movements on the forearms if the wrists are quite a tricky area. Wonderful. Once we've done it 4 times out, we then go 4 times in. And then gently relax. So we're going to tuck those toes under, make our way up into our downward facing dog. Maybe take a moment to paddle out the feet. And then we're going to take another series of hip circles in a little bit more of an advanced position. If it feels too much, feel free to drop back down onto the knees. What we're going to do, we're going to float our right leg towards the sky, bend the knee, and then open the hip. As we open the hip, check the body's not twisting, chest is still down towards the mat. Option 1, we just focus on circling those hips out, same as all fours. Option 2, more of a challenge, we can circle coming into a plank pose and then open out, just for a little bit extra work in the core. Again, once we've done 4 out, we then do 4 in. So if we're taking the plank, knee towards the elbow, under the chest, and then back up. Once you've done 4 both sides, we come onto the left. How are your wrists feeling? Okay, so again, even in your downward dog, you can have support under the wrists, or you can see what it's like on all fours. It's a little bit more challenging on the tricep. So left leg up, open the hip, and we circle it round 4 times. It's quite challenging to talk upside down. Lovely, once you've done 4 circles out, we do 4 circles in. Again, you've got that option to move into that plank pose. Making sure you are still breathing, especially as we're upside down, it's much harder. And then after that last one, dropping back down onto the knees, taking a moment to breathe again if we've lost that breath. So we're going to come back to that downward dog just for a quick moment to transition ourselves forwards. Gaze to the top of the mat, and then we walk our feet towards the hands. Take the feet around mat width apart. As we inhale, we're going to take a halfway lift, hands on the shins, lengthen the crown of the head forwards, and then we're going to come into our yogi squat. So option one, we sink our hips down with gravity into this nice squat position. If the hips are tight, you can place a block underneath the sit bones, just so you have a little bit more support, or alternatively stack a few cushions. If either of those do feel too much, then what we can do, we can sit down, take the feet a little bit wider and further forwards, hold a position here. And the hips can be quite a tight space, so maybe start by doing a couple of sways, checking in you're still breathing, really just finding what works for your body. You can even add a little bit of a rotation, pushing the hands into the thighs, or maybe take a more static rotation, placing the right hand on the floor, lifting that left arm up to the sky, maybe even towards the lower back, or maybe just opening out a few times. If we do open out, just see if you can find a similar position, but it doesn't need to mirror on that second side. Bring the hands back together. For just one moment, we'll test our strength in our hips. See if the knees can stay out. Lift the arms up to the sky. Nice, and then we're gonna sit those hips all the way down. See if we can land. Or fall all the way back, that's completely fine, because we're gonna lie on our backs for our final posture. Slowly roll it down. Bring the soles of the feet together. Open the knees out like a book. If this is quite stressful at all in the hips, we can place cushions or blocks underneath the thighs for a little bit more support. Or you can take your butterfly position from seated, again with hips supported by a block or cushion. And we're just going to rest here for these final few moments. Let those hips begin to soften and relax. Again, think about relaxing through that breath. Slowly inhale. Maybe even sigh away through the mouth as you exhale. Just to really release any tension we're holding in those hips. Hopefully the hips are starting to feel like they're melting a little bit, maybe quite a lot. As soon as it feels too much, know that you can gently ease out. And then we will gently come out, placing the hands under the thighs to support them, drawing them in, maybe taking those windshield wipers from this position again, just to ease off, see how the hips feel. And then rolling to one side to bring yourself up to seated. And there we have it. Hopefully those hips are feeling a little bit loosened off today. Thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see you next time.
Make sure you join us for day 9, where Molly's going to be taking us through a static stretch routine, really helping to work on our flexibility. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, give it a like, make sure you subscribe, and see you again soon for another video.